And we were at the stage of polishing the mesh for the legs. The the upper body is going to be the point of reference for the details. The head has a lot of details on it to attract attention. The body has a little less. For the leg, we're gonna aim close to the body, let's say, more or less. So that's we have all the foundation mesh ready. Some will need extra work to look good, like the legs are pretty bare. The feet, at the very least, are pretty bare. And so yeah, I'm just gonna start polishing. Let's do it now since we all know it's a time-consuming um, phase. Well, time-consuming. You know what? After everything we've done with the foundation mesh, I don't think we get to call detailing time consuming. Bostoke. Hello, hello. All right. Oh, let's get going. Let's get warmed up with some easy stuff. So it'll be pretty much the same process for every mesh. I'm going to start by making sure it has like a rim, so like a kind of like a detail on the outside. And applying any like detail from for the thickness, then making the detail inside of the shape. I'm gonna try to get something consistent in terms of the details. For some reason, I'm not in symmetry. All right. Oh, wait, did I have... I had consistent poly grouping in my thicknesses. I could have used a little shortcut there. Oh, well. Maybe a bit more. If I just tap, it repeats the last intensity of the action. In this case, the action was extrude. Is my sound okay, by the way? Sounds okay. Perfect. So that's what we're gonna aim to do here. I was just looking at the sharpness of the corners. But that's about the yeah. You see, it wasn't perfect everywhere. We were going to fix that, of course. That's about the feel of it. I'm not sure if I got the right material for that, though. Once again, let's flood the screen with one material. Yeah, it was not the right material. Now it is. Okay, at this point, I'm going to commit these subdivision to actual subdivisions. And then I'm going to grab the edge here. And what I can try is, if I find my edges are too sharp, I can try to do a little bit of smoothing. It just relaxes it a little bit. Polish is good for relaxing, but it relaxes like a lot the mesh, so it might not be the effect you wanna get. All right, and then we're gonna tuck everything in correctly, making sure our thicknesses are consistent. There's also one thing I might do about the thickness. I'll do that later. Or yeah, because I need to move everything. Just make sure it's all like tucked in correctly. Let's check the chat real quick also. Sounds okay. Hello Marco, damn, the tap to repeat last action is mind-blowing. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a good option. Good morning, Marco. Great to see you as always, sir. Well, to you as well, da capitalista. Stoic, I'm having a hard time fully understand the hard surface step. Is it 1, sketch and block out the shape, 2, mask out, separate, add edge loops, and extrude, and then retopo and subdivide, then push the detail. Okay, wait, so sketch and do the block out shape. Sure, yes, that's what you need to do. Then mask and separate. Yes, it is. Then add edge loops and extrude. At this point, I would say no, it would be to Z remesh so that like your mesh is like somewhat clean. Then you need to do the panel loops, which I think is what you call extrude. So no, there's no retopo after that because you must have done your retopo before the panel looping. Most of the time, you could do it the other way around, but like I can see how it might be has like some big inconvenience. Then subdivide, yeah, and push the detail, yeah, would be something more like that. My friend Fred Daou, you might all know him. He does some pretty awesome stuff. There are some things that he just stays in Dynamesh for like a long time. Or he will like polymesh something. Sorry, well, make a Z remesh of something, And one of his final steps is going to be to actually go back to Dynamesh once everything is clean, so that like he can like, I guess like continue to play with the brush. But you have to be careful if you do that, because if you've made your mesh like a bit, it's a bit destructive, right? But like if you know what you're doing, you can absolutely do that. And he has good reasons for doing it, which, like I said, I assume it's about like having more control over your mesh, especially when it comes time to well, that's going to go inside of the mesh. Add extrusion, like mid-level, mid-detail extrusions and stuff. I did this one, I did this one, I did this one. Yeah, I think I did it all. All right. All right, so now I said I was going to do, oh yeah, so I want to kind of like taper the inside. The inside layer. There we go. This is basically for the look, like, because I created a thickness that is very thick and goes like inside of the mesh, right? And this is mostly for like, for when I'm going to be printing the character later. As like an aid. Making sure the mesh is watertight and everything, but it does not help with the look of the actual like model that's going to be rendered. So by kind of like it thins the border without removing the mesh that's going inside of and making it watertight. Like it creates a tapers that make it looks better for the rendered model, basically. All right, I didn't place much details on this part. So I guess I'm gonna continue in this. In this the word are not getting to me, eh? My head's like I said, my head's not really there. Sometimes I'm sick. I was gonna say in this flavor, but it's not this flavor that I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say like in this pattern, this venue, this custom. What's the word? Habit, not habit. Venue. But my choice of line is just based on the line flow of things, right? Starting with like the line that follows the muscles and kind of like going around the butt right there. So starting with the muscle flow, then the butt flow. That's why this line has this shape. That's pretty much my recipe. Looking good, looking good. Um, let's do the same here, rinse and repeat. Oh, I don't need any on this one. It doesn't have any visible thicknesses. Oh, weird. Why is it all skewed like that? Oh, wow. Okay. That mesh is not... Yeah, it's kind of like collapsed on itself. I tried to get the thickness back manually. I am really not sure how this happened. Should go get that now, I guess. Okay, let's add the thickness. And let's also push the thickness of that mesh here. Just in case. Like I said, this one we could even not even have thickness, it would be okay. Also, we need to apply the new material because that was not the right material. Okay, so this, I'm gonna do my extrude. It's a bit thinner than the rest. Should be good. Here and here. Wow, it went absolutely nuts right there. But it's a done, so let's keep it and let's just clean it. I remember the values from before, so no need to double check. Now I have these, I can commit the subdivisions. I'll do the smooth that I did before. Still very tight. It's not really an important part, I'll just do with it. And now subdivide one more time. I'll check the the chat very soon. Just finish that one thing so I don't lose track of what I'm doing. I'm not trusting my mind today to to remember much, so like I can see my vision has a hard time like focusing. So if that happens, it also means the mind is not at its sharpest. There's something I forgot to do on this one here. Okay, let's go back to it. Some reason that mesh was a bit untidy, for lack of better words. was a bit too strong, but basically just making it like, make it feel like this mesh is pretty tightly or somewhat tightly wrapping around the mesh, the details here. And finally, these little details, and that should be done. Good. All right. Once again, line flow. Okay, all right. Let's double check if I need to add something. It's pretty much all the visual language I apply to these meshes. So, yep, there we go. Dunzo, dunzo, dunzo. Maybe next I'll tackle the muscle fibers here. Let's save this. And let's check the chat. I just became a game character artist, but knew about NPC generated by, news about NPC generated by AI rising pop up on my YouTube algorithm. Feels odd. Yeah, it's pretty intrusive. What's odd about AI? Was the internet odd back in 1980s? Yep, and here we are today. Stuff gets me this idea. I mean, woman look like it can help to accelerate the process of minor tasks like piecing the clear. Our goal is to make AI create main character. So feature. Give us a way to build Dynamesh with the exact poly count we want. I wish Pixelogic could give us a way to build Dynamesh with the exact poly count we want and without limits. Well, I know that there was like a 4 million limits. I think they've made it bigger since like a certain update. I'm not sure the usefulness of the having the exact poly count though. I think the internet back in the current situation, AI has come curve on that. It doesn't mean that the job will come, but it means that we have to struggle with tiny amounts of job open by a productive AI. All right. So there is something about those muscle fibers here is that there's not like a really generous cavity between them. So I'm just going to see if I need to do some smoothing here to kind of like make it deeper, right? Kind of feel like it's helping too, so it's good. Now I'm going to smooth relax to get the brush strokes out. Okay, so that helped a little bit here. Here they're already well separated. And here also. It was really just like around here that like, oh, And also this mesh is not in symmetry. Weird. Plus also it's not, I feel like we can merge these two together. So we're not going to apply any meshing on the tubes, unlike the other characters. We're going to leave the tubes pretty much raw like this. So it's just a dam standard with a little mask. All right. So let's apply the dam standard line. It's going to be pretty simple. Let's just use lazy mouse. This one is not too bad. Oh, the first one is not really good. I wonder if I can fix it just like by moving it around a little bit. a bit tight in this area. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually going to just work on one part and mirror and weld it after. I can mirror and weld with I can mirror and weld it now because I'm done with the tight part. Check the chat. In what case you choose to reduce the poly count of Dynamesh? Do you have any particular parameter when you use it? In what case you choose to reduce the poly count? With decimation, do you have any particular parameters when you use it? I only decimate like for like 3D print mostly. Sometimes when I bake and it's really just like too high and it gives like issues to like it has issues in substance, but like that's really just it. That one also did not have the symmetry on. Weird. Let's do a bit of those masks that I did. Oops. It's hard to get something clean because the cursor goes inside of the cavity and it's kind of like going a little bit all around. My God, why is it so complicated? Almost feels like I should have done that first, after all. Okay, so. Oh, no, I won't be able to do that because it did. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Go back to the stage right here. No, that's still not gonna work. Never mind. Never mind. Let's just try to. So those are the zones where I want to do this effect. Now let's try to make it look good. Let's blur it, sharpen it a little bit, and then blur it again. Let's see the effect I get. If I blur it even more. Yep. Okay. And since I cannot create like a inflate because it will affect the cavity, I'm just gonna push it one by one like that. Try to get the same kind of like, oh wait, is it too? Might be too blurry after all. Let's go back to the other level of blurriness. Less deep, it's good. All right. That's good. Now in the middle of the muscle, I want to add something because it's a lot of mesh without a detail, so it won't hurt to have something else. All right. So now I got these meshes here and the straps. I'll do the mesh that goes in between the muscles first. I think I had some for the other group of muscles, right? Not really, it seems. Okay. Actually, I'll do these muscles first. This way I've completed the muscles for the entire leg region. Right, there you go. These were just some quick curved strap snap that I've placed. We can see it. They all have like X's here. So I can tell. So I'll just polygroup by angle, try to catch the only the surface of them. Like that. Create a thickness that is more, well, let's just say cleaner, I guess. I'm gonna add a loop just so that the detail distribution is equal. Then I'm going to assign group by angle again, a little bit more severe. So I wanted to get the these angles too. Right on, I got it. Mirroring weld so that the polygroups are the same both sides. Now, dynamic subdivision just to test the amount of pinch that I need. Should be fine. So before I start doing any detail on this piece here, I have to make sure that it's really following inside of the muscles correctly. Which now looks much cleaner. Same for this one at the front. Right. Flatten a few things so it looks better. Okay. I think I'm going to commit to detail those things now. Apply. Subdivide one more time. I'm gonna do the little trick I talked about before to kind of like get rid of some of the thickness that I don't need. Maybe I do need to move that mesh as well. In some areas, like here. Felt maybe a little bit inconsistent with the rest. All right. So, and now to work on the relation between those plastic thing and the muscles. Um, so I think what I'll do is I'll actually add a layer on the muscles here, because the muscles will be the one that has like a cavity that kind of like lets those rubber thing connect to them. Although if I do that, I think I'm going to need to work on the direction of the line of that muscle, because it's kind of like tapering in a way that it doesn't feel pleasant to the eye. Okay, I think that's going to be better. Load our alphas. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to try to add an alpha that kind of just hints at the fact that those muscles are also holding this rubber band. Just something like that. Repeat here. This one is also tapering, not equally. I'm being really nitpicky here, but here we go. Like I really want this line to taper the same as this line over here. And right now, it was not doing it. Yep, okay. So now it's better. Well, that's better. So the way that this detail is not going over circle is because I applied some depth mask to it, like here. Okay, and for this rubber band, what I'm going to do is I'm going to... Do I add a cavity here on the muscle? Or do I add the cavity on the plastic? Yeah, I think I'm gonna add the cavity on the plastic. And as I did last time, I'm going to kind of like taper the inside part. Good. This way, it also feels like the muscles are going in here, so that's perfect. Visually, we're good. Plus, we got this mesh that's actually penetrating with the bottom layer. So, super. Super, super, super. Wonder if here I should be adding like a little detail or something. Let's test. Looks real nice. Well, thank you. Can we get those nice hard surface alpha on your site? The output I was using right there is a mix of stuff that I found, stuff that I bought. So no, I cannot share them. Sorry. Really subtle details right there, but Cool. Cool. So we got those plastic things done. We got the muscles. We got the fascia protector part done. I think I'm gonna start to put the parts that we have not done yet into a different poly group. Okay, so technically everything that's in color right now is already finished, like fully final. So next we could do the straps. So yeah, detailing an object is it feels like it could be slow, but yeah, you can get a lot of stuff done. I mean, the step that I did before that, all the foundation meshes, or I don't know if I should call them foundation mesh. I just ended up calling it that. But basically, what I mean by that is just the mesh itself, the cleanliness of the mesh, its thickness, that sort of stuff. I mean, it's a huge part of it. It has to do with the creation of the mesh itself, like as in its topology. Once you get to the detail, like 70% of the work is already done. Let's get all the straps. Let's still leave them divided between thigh and tibia though, so I'll do it in two sets. Those straps are already clean. There's not like an X at the tip. So what I'll do, and they're already like well placed. So what I'll do is I'll add 2 rows for each. Because they're so large, then one row is just going to create like a rectangle, and I'm aiming to have squares to get the most consistent resolution all around the straps. I'm going to dynamesh them, and I'm already at the right crease level, so I'm going to apply subdivision here. And now I want to UV these. So I'm going to go in the side here, UV master, work on clone. I'm going to tell it to work with the polygroups, work in symmetry, and unwrap. Then flatten. And I just need to make sure that the results are all in squares and whatnot. There's also the option of like doing it by crease level in UVs here. I haven't seen really like better results in terms of placing the all those things more straight. Actually, I'll do it in that direction here. Oh, what? doesn't even matter if they overlap. I just want their direction to be all horizontal as much as possible. There we go. And even the sides need to be Rhythm is really good to get all your meshes like already aligned like that. It's what I use all the time outside of ZBrush for when I'm preparing for texture. Although I don't have to do everything straight like that, except for the hair. When I do the hair of a character, all those fibers, I want them to have like UVs that point in a specific direction so that the anisotropic material is working well. These little bits here, I could not be as diligent, but there's not like too much, so it's okay. Ah, there's going to be an issue. I didn't see that this strap here did not unwrap correctly. Which one is it? Textures. It's this one here. Oh, it's okay. I'll do a mirror and weld and I'll fix that. So copy UVs, get back to my mesh, paste UVs. I'll mirror and weld that. Just want to confirm my texture's all right. There we go. Perfecto. Now I know I can apply noise on this mesh here. So let's go into surface, noise. Let's grab this alpha here. Wait. I'll use UVs also. All right. So my details are going to be small like that. I'm just going to check with the torso. I see I have a strap right there. That's going to be a good reference. Let's just apply to mesh. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I think I'll just do it a tad bigger. Oops. So let's try 42 here. Yeah, should be all right. So I'm going to create a layer. I'm going to do apply to mesh. Okay, resolution's not good enough. Let's subdivide one time. Okay, the resolution is not as best, but it's going to be enough for what I'm trying to do here. I'm just going to make sure that the intensity of the detail is similar to the other ones. It's closer to 75% of what I had. I'm going to add one small detail in there also. I'm going to grab smoothing is a bit too strong, so I'm just going to reduce the mask blurring strength. Yeah, that's good. There we go. There's just like a little edge detail, and it's very subtle, but whatever. All right. We're going to keep the layer for this mesh here. So repeat right here. Oh, these are already with square-ish distribution. So, you know what, before applying to mesh, I'm going to make the UVs for these ones here. So once again, symmetry, polygroup, because we do have polygroups, unwrap, flatten. This is clearly the exciting part of the stream. All right, now for all the small parts here. And flatten, copy UVs. paste UVs. Oh, it kind of like pasted the material at the same time. I'm gonna reapply the material and the color. It had 5 subdivision level. Let's put it up to 5. Let's do the little cavity in the middle like I did for the others. Go. And then I'm going to actually go here in the noisemaker, edit, copy, and noise, paste. Okay, there we go. So I just transferred my noise perfectly. Add a layer, apply to mesh, and I remember I had to put it to 75% to get the effect I wanted. What I'm doing right now is I'm just crushing a layer, a blank layer, on the one with the percentage, just so that like it becomes, my percentage becomes 100 of its value. All right, so the straps are done. There is going to be adding the clips for the straps also. That's something that I'm gonna need to do. It's going to be on, it's going to affect like these meshes here, the cloth mesh. So it's going to be important to apply these accessories to the cloth mesh at the same time. Plus, like the cloth mesh, you see, has like a bit of like greebles here and there like, that I add. So we're gonna be doing that as well. Ciboire, this looks so dope. Incroyable. Hey, merci, merci. So the yeah, I think with the time remaining, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do the cloth part entirely because this is going to take too much time, but I can at least start the rubber part around it. And then after that, we'll have the cloth part to do on the next stream probably. And we're gonna finish with the metal plating and stuff. So right now we've done a lot of the kind of like accessories, we could say. But you can see that like in just like a few streams, we'll be able to tackle all of the detailing compared to the like I said, the foundation of the meshes that took I think if I'm not mistaken, like 4 or 5 streams actually, which was a lot. I mean, it basically it comes back to like 8-10 hours of work, which is not that much for what it is, right? But still, it is in proportion. It's something. We might change some things to the tubing, but for the moment, I'm just going to repeat the same kind of like visual language that I have. So what is the visual language on this tubing? There's three things. There's these kind of like inflation right there. There's stuff that kind of like goes over the metal parts that connect, and there's these tubes there here that go inside of the shape, right? So, oh, and I'll need to actually add those clips here, but that's more about the cloth part, not the rubber tube around it. So let's see what 4 subdivision level I need for this. So apply and subdivide one more time. I'm going to do the same for this one here. Apply, subdivide. So I'm going to start with the bottom part here, actually. So let's do the part that extend from it. It's just a matter of having the move brush at -100 in back face. And then you can create those extremely easily. Let's have them kind of like going over some of the metal parts here. Okay, I think there's enough of them. No, wait, there's also here. Okay, so that's for the kind of parts that are like extending. Then I'm going to add the little tubing going in. Well, if I add the tubing, I have to commit the cloth mesh, which I think I want to do. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be an issue. But you know what? Before I commit the cloth mesh, I'm actually going to use the fact it doesn't have any subdivision level. And I'm going to okay. I'm going to add those little tube things. I'm going to add them as line. I already want them to have the proper material, so I'm going to make sure they're an MRGB with the right color and everything. Let's test the size. Is it 3? No, it's 5. There we go. I'll take this one. I have its own subtool, but I want to lower the depth at which it goes into the shape. I kind of like have it already near the level of the rubber things. All right, just like that. Perfect. We don't see them because they're inside of the shape, but we're going to see them in not too long. Try maybe one here. Nah, it's not gonna work. Okay, anyways. So now they're all there. And I just need to reveal them. So I kind of like have to remember where they are. Don't need lazy mouse. I think that is all. And what I'll do now is I'll just move them so that they connect with the plastic, basically. Oops. I have to remove the minus 100 value on them. All right. There we go. I'm actually surprised that I did not sneeze more than that during the stream. So the quality of this cavity, I'm going to mostly work on it once I'm really working on the cloth part though. Like it's not, I just don't want to leave it to this exact state. But there was one last thing to do though. It's the those like thickness in the tubing. Yeah, they're more random than what we did so far. Like this was to connect with like metal parts. This was like in like some corners to use them. These here are going to be slightly more random. And for that, we're just gonna inflate. That's it. Here we go. All right, so let's do it for the top part now. That's about the size that I've been using. I think I can pull them a little bit further. Okay. Are we... I think we might be done. Yeah, feels about... Oh, no, right there. There we go. Okay. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? The little tubings. Charlie Iris, so satisfying watching the detailing phase. Looks incredible. Well, thank you. It is also a fun one, I find. I like to work on this phase. I didn't check the rest of the chat. I'm really wondering how the model, this detail is posable. Oh, well, you can check my other stream or check this one. I'm eventually going to pose it. Hello, hello. Happy ZBrushing, everyone. Hola, Marco. Well, hello to you, too. Okay, I think that's going to be enough places to have those things. Too thick. Just enough. And I've noticed there's one or two parts that it just needs a little bit of pushing it up. There wasn't much though. Can also work on this part when I'm going to work on the cloth. And once again, those little details, and that'll be all. I think it was 5 the value. Yeah. might be everywhere that I need them to be. It'd be nice to have one right there, actually. Oh, wait, am I done? Did I find them all? I guess I might have. All right. So now to connect them. Almost. It's probably going to be the end of that stream the moment I'm done with these. Yep, that's the 2-hour mark. Did I miss somewhere? All right, looks like I got it everywhere. We're going to save that. Right. All right. All right. So it's saved. It's saved. It's complete. We've did all of these, all of the colored parts on the leg. So like the details, accessories, or the underneath layer. The next stream, I'll be working on the cloth part, the Kevlar, and probably I'll have time to start the metal parts afterwards. Now, the metal parts are the thing that's gonna take the most time for sure. But it should go relatively fast. I mean, if you look at the detailing on the character on the left, the torso parts and whatnot, it's not full of detail. It's just a matter of like choosing the right ones, right? And then we'll be able to do the arms, and that will be the end of that character. And posing, rendering, of course. That'll be all. That will be all. Anyways, I hope that you had a good time, a good everything. And yeah, let's go write someone and call that a day. Next week, like I said, I will probably not have the time to do a stream, but after this week, should be all right. Should be good. So, on that, everybody have a great week. I'll see you next one.